We're learning more about the Trump administration revelations behind John Bolton's book. Now, we haven't seen his book, it hasn't been released yet. Apparently, individuals who know what his book says spoke to reporters at the New York Times, and we're learning that the book indicates that Bolton was concerned that Trump was using his relationships with some of the unsavory international leaders in order to, push for his own personal financial gain. And he raised these concerns to Attorney General William Barr. Bolton reportedly told Attorney General William Barr that he feared President Trump was granting personal favors to the leaders of China and Turkey. Bolton reportedly wrote that Barr responded that he was worried Trump may have created the appearance of having improper influence over investigations involving companies based in those two countries during personal conversations with the leaders of China and Turkey. Barr specifically singled out Trump's conversations with President Xi Jinping about the Chinese telecommunications firm ZTE as a cause for worry. Now, just to give you the backstory on that, ZTE was facing investigations here in the United States, and all of a sudden, Trump lifted sanctions toward that telecommunications company after his daughter, Ivanka Trump, received the trademarks that she was lobbying for.
We pointed that out on the Young Turks immediately and thought, what an interesting coincidence, especially because even the Pentagon was concerned about ZTE, saying it could have national security effects, especially in the middle of a trade war that Trump was doing with China. All of a sudden, the most egregious violations by the most egregious company in China, and Trump all of a sudden lifts it. And hey, voila, look at that, all of his daughter's trademarks get approved. Now, but there are no bounds with Republicans. So they could look at that and go, yeah, so what? He's helping his family get richer, so what? So what? Nothing's impeachable, we don't care. And oh yeah, John Bolton, he's a liberal. It doesn't matter, truth doesn't matter anymore. But should John Bolton testify? Of course he should testify. It would be unconscionable for him not to testify if he knows of a specific personal business deal that would enrich the president's family at the cost of American national security, not just about Ukraine, but now with China and Turkey. And what was the deal with Turkey? Did he remove our troops from northern Syria because of a financial deal he had in Turkey? If you don't want to know the answer to that, that means you know he's corrupt and you're the one covering it up.
Well, don't worry, Cenk. Now that we have learned of these revelations through John Bolton's book, we have Senator Chuck Schumer to save the day. Here he is making a passionate speech about how Trump must be held accountable.
Now just look at the other New York Times report last night about Ambassador Bolton's book. Several members of the administration had concerns about the president's dealings with autocrats, particularly Xi of China and Erdogan of Turkey. Did the president have financial interests at stake when he was talking to Erdogan, Orban, Xi, and others? Maybe his kids had some economic interest at stake. And did it impact our nation's foreign policy with those countries? Those questions are not the subject of the president's impeachment trial. But this report should be a warning sign to any Republican in the Senate. If you vote with the White House to suppress and cover up evidence, the odds are strong that the truth will eventually come out.
What was that? What was that? He asked questions like, could it be true that Donald Trump might have some financial crimes involved? Yes. Have you been asleep? Have you been asleep? I mean, these topics have been discussed in the press for months and months when it comes to Donald Trump's decision to pull troops out of northern Syria. Why do you think he made that decision? Out of nowhere, after one phone call with Erdogan, okay? Why do you think Donald Trump decided to lift sanctions on ZTE after his own daughter got the trademarks that she wanted from China? Look, he talks about how these possible financial crimes are not part of the impeachment investigation. Yeah, because of you guys. Democrats made an active decision to avoid talking about or investigating Donald Trump's possible financial crimes, which I argue are much more serious.
Well, now we've said that on the show 100 times, but this is textbook Democratic weakness. Now you say, all right, well look, Cenk, let's be constructive. So how would you handle it? Okay, I'm glad you asked. So if I was the Speaker of the House in this crazy hypothetical, I would say, oh, you know what? It turns out John Bolton has testimony about other corruption, which would be literal bribery if it's for the financial benefit of Trump's family. It doesn't get any more literal than that. It is bribery. So now those are the allegations being put forward in a New York Times story. We're reopening impeachment hearings in the House, okay? And we could add charges, and I don't care if the Senate calls John Bolton. I'm gonna call John Bolton, and we're gonna find out what he promised and what benefits he got from Turkey and from China, right? And by the way, guys, what did I tell you about all this, the wrong strategy on impeachment? First, I said go broader. They're only talking about Ukraine, so the Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then secondly, I said, he broke 5 different crimes. Don't make me repeat all 5 crimes now, okay? And so charge him with the crimes. No, we're gonna make it vague, an abuse of his office or of his authority. So now, the #1 talking point of Republicans on TV, all over social media is, oh, he didn't break any laws, so this is all about nothing. No, he did, he broke 5 different laws even before the China and Turkey revelations. So for God's sake, act with strength. Instead, it's always equivocal and maybe and did we and oh my God, what should we do?
Look, it's easy to pursue the truth and justice when you have a clean heart and you know that you have nothing to be afraid of. When you have the truth on your side and you have a clear conscience, you can go after injustice and you can go after criminality with no fear. The fact that Democrats are so scared to go after financial crimes, I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again. It makes one speculate that they have committed financial crimes of their own and they don't want to be investigated, which is why they're staying away from Trump's financial dealings. I mean, what else? What other possible explanation could there be?
Richard Neal, the head of the House Ways and Means Committee, refuses to take Trump's tax returns. He had a chance to get his New York State tax returns. He didn't do it in the time allotted. And Schumer, if okay, in this hypothetical where I'm the Senate majority or Senate minority leader in that case, instead of Schumer coming out and going, I think maybe, you say, there are charges of bribery. We will talk about that in the impeachment proceedings. If we do not, I will ask Speaker Pelosi to add impeachment charges, and we'll go through this again and again and again until we get to the truth. But we will hear from Bolton. If there was bribery and the president took money or his family took money, the American people deserve to know, and anyone else who disagrees is part of the cover-up. And by the way, there will be charges on the cover-up as well.
Don't miss your chance to win a trip to Los Angeles and have dinner with Cenk, John, and me. Just head to tyt.com/dinnerinla to register to win. Sign up for a free Aspiration spend and save account. Then you just register your eligibility and swipe your Aspiration card daily on purchases to gain entries. Not only are you entering to win a trip to Los Angeles and dinner with TYT hosts, you're also not depositing your hard-earned money into fossil fuel exploration or production. As a friendly reminder, even if you already have an Aspiration account, you must still register for eligibility into the sweepstakes.